The other day I needed to replace my steering column on my 61 Ford. So I went online and I found a guy with some columns. So this is the correct bottom end for the 61. And there was a steering box on it and a shaft and a aftermarket steering wheel. Anyway, I started to take it apart and I quickly realized that something was not right, because on the top end was a newer style signal switch. So this should not be the correct switch for a 61. I took it out and then I started looking at the collar that was on there, and this is definitely not the right collar. This one's a 65, I think it is, if I get my eyes in there correctly. The shift levers are correct, so it's got the correct bottom end for the 61. The newer style has this type of a bushing on the outer end, but this is the correct lever set for the 61. So like I said, this is what came off, because this is how the signal switch was able to be bolted in. This is what is supposed to be there. So you can see the two screws that hold the switch for the 61 style. It's completely different. And also, for those of you who have compared the tubes, you'll know that the tubes are different. So how did it fasten on? Like this. So here somebody has butchered the end of the 61 tube in order to put a 65 casting number on there. Now, did it work? I guess it did. So that's something to put in the back of your minds if you're thinking that you can't get a signal switch for the 61, which is wrong. You can get the switch and you can get the wiring harness. But anyway, if you've got one kicking around, I guess you just get out your chisel and butcher a hole in it so that you can fit the signal pivot into that hole. Here's the steering box and the shaft that was in that particular assembly. Now, you think, okay, the worst thing that can happen is that the tube is no good. No, even worse is that the steering box is no good. So whoever took it out of the vehicle hit it with a big hammer, I guess, and ripped the casting to pieces here on the steering box so that you can no longer adjust the sector shaft clearance. So internal parts are probably useful for rebuilding, but the box is a waste. Now, what did I get out of this complete column assembly that's useful? Well, here's the 61 shaft that I had. Not too good, pretty butchered up on the one end. This one actually worked, but I didn't want to put this one in permanently because it's been repaired and beat up quite badly. This is a 29 7/8 long. Here is a 65. Same on the bottom end. Same on the top end, but it's only 28 3/8 long. So the comparison between a 61 and a 65, you can't just go and swap internal tubes. The shift tube does not work. Anyway, here's the tube that came in this assembly that I bought. So I guess I paid my price and I got myself a good tube. So am I really upset? No. Lesson learned, you just inspect what you're looking at a little bit more carefully. So there you go. Till next time, after I get it together, I'll show you next tube. Thanks very much, guys.